Hey everybody, Brian Saladay, and today I'm going to talk about four important aspects on how to start or begin an exercise program. The first one is goals. Now, when we start an exercise program, if you've never done one before, or you've had brief experience doing it, or you haven't done it in a long time, you want to take into consideration your goals. Now, there's a few types. There is your short-term and your long-term goals. Short-term goals are, say, if you decide you want to run a half marathon or something like that. A short-term goal would be, if you haven't run, and let's say you haven't run in many years, would be to go out and be able to, your first goal would be to be able to run for 5 or 10 minutes without walking. And then maybe a few weeks later, the next would be being able to run a mile without walking. So you set yourself up for short-term goals, so you're able to accomplish those, and you don't become feeling like you haven't accomplished anything. The next is a long-term goal, and your long-term goal, say, if you decide you wanted to run a half marathon or a marathon, and I'm just throwing this out as an example, would be so you would start training 6 or 8 months out, for however long that you would feel is best for you. When you start it, that would be your long-term goal, would be essentially that is what you want to eventually complete. And then your vision would be, say, okay, I was able to complete one. Now I want to try one in a different state, or I want to try to drop my times down, or different things like that. So those are primarily short and long-term goals. Now, other types of goals are your when we're working out, or exercising. There's your fitness level, if you want to do resistance training, if you want to build muscle, if you want to improve your cardiovascular system, if you want to run, jog, walk, swim, bicycle, things like that. If you want to lose weight, if you want to gain weight, some people want to gain weight, men and women, depending on their body fat percentage or other variations. If you want to improve your overall health, say you have some osteoporosis, this can be helped with some corrective exercises or physical therapy. That can be a goal. If you simply just want to improve your diet, you feel like you're very competent and understand how to exercise, and so you want to understand more about what to eat and how to implement healthier foods into your diet. That can be a goal as well. So there's various types of, you have to understand when you start an exercise program, or you're wanting to try to improve it, on what you're trying to accomplish. So sit down, make a few goals. Say if I wanted to lose 3 pounds of body fat, how I would want to go about doing that. So I would have to restrict some calories, I'd have to improve my diet in certain areas, and I'd have to increase the intensity or level of exercise that I'm doing. The next is time. Now, when I talk about time, there's a few different types of things. For instance, if you are on some sort of medications, maybe in the morning or the evening is not best for you, or is a better time for you to work out. Maybe you're one of those people that you enjoy working out around lunchtime, or if you're retired, if once you get up, you're good to go, and that's the best time for you to start. So time of day is very important on what works best for you. Maybe you have a busy schedule, or whatever that it may be. Try to figure out what times of the day will I not have to cancel, or because you want to stay reliable with your program, so you want to stay as consistent as possible. So what times will be more successful for me to keep continuing? Also, with time, you have to take in consideration your food. You always want to make sure that you haven't eaten right before, unless you're eating something that's just light, like a little pick-me-up. You don't want to have a big meal and then go out and do a 3-mile jog. It's going to bog you down, and it's going to be difficult to do that. The next one is location. Now, when we talk about location, we're talking about is a rec center, or a Y, or a Club Fitness, or something like that. Is that somewhere you want to work out? Do you live out farther, and maybe it's better for you, or easier for you, to work out at home? So you have to come up with some creative ways to do that. So you have to do resistance bands, or kettlebells, or dumbbells, or things like that. Maybe some people don't always feel in the beginning comfortable working out in public, so they want to work out at home. There's nothing wrong with that. It's always up to what is your comfort level. Some people enjoy working out outside, so they'll take equipment with them outside. So it's important to know which location is best for you. Also, there's in personal training, if you decide to go the route of working with the personal trainer or an instructor, there's several types. There's group classes. There's one-on-one training. Now, one-on-one training is more. You can do it two different ways. There's chain places like a Gold's Gym or something along those lines, and then there's a private facility. Which only does personal training. They don't do anything else. You call them to contact a schedule with them. You meet for an eval. They do an eval, and you probably meet with a dietitian depending on where you go. I can't speak for everyone. When you come to where I work, you meet with a dietitian. I don't know what everyone else does, and then you get set up with a personal trainer, and that's how it typically works. So if you are wanting to do those, you kind of figure out the price ranges, what you can afford, what you can't afford, and kind of more what you're looking for. The benefits to working to going to a personal training, just a personal training but private facility, is that it's going to be more customized, and typically they're going to have more experience than a chain place because they're more concerned about numbers. A chain place, the prices are going to be a little cheaper. I'm not saying that they're bad, but from what I have seen, typically the evaluations aren't as good. They're not as trained as well. So if you do go to those chain places, make sure that they do incorporate in your evaluations balance, postural analysis, and flexibility. Those are all very important, and a lot of times those are overlooked. Yes, muscular strength and endurance are important, and the typical things, but to improve your overall health, you must have good balance and you must have posture, and a lot of times those are overlooked. So make sure that those are in. If this website is for people that are 50 and up, if you go, make sure that the trainer you're working with has worked with clientele that are 50 and up. You don't want to get someone that has never worked with someone older than 50 before. That it's a first-time person for them. Obviously, if they're fresh out of college, it might be a little harder. But it's more just comfortable with you're comfortable with. I would recommend you to go to someone that's worked with other people before. And the last one today that I'm going to talk about is duration. Now, duration. Frequency and duration kind of go together. So frequency is how many times you work out a week. Typically, you want to work out 2 to 4 times a week is good. And half an hour to an hour is optimal, and it doesn't all have to be at once. If, say, you go on a 30-minute bike ride in the morning and before work, and then after work, or say you're doing some volunteer work or whatever you're doing, then you go in the evening and you do 30 minutes of resistance training or 45 minutes of resistance training or a group exercise class or something like that. So you can split it up. You can split it up into 20-minute intervals, which is an interval is just a spot in which a time spot in which you work out. You can do it all at once, and if you do it all at once, remember we want to always talked about before that you want to consider time is important. What time of the day works best for you? What time of the week works best for you? If it's a weekday, weekend, so different things like that. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Thanks again.